before we get started, let me know, have you recently gotten a puppy? Because if you want to rock your engagement, this sure helps. This or pregnancy or some kind of big event, getting married, buying a house, buying a second house. But if you don't have anything like that happening at the moment, how do you generate leads even if you're boring? Even if you don't have a big social media following? Matter of fact, you don't need a big social media following to crush it.
How many of you could use more leads? Like you could use more leads, people raising their hand, expressing interest in your business. And I haven't met a business owner yet. I haven't met an entrepreneur yet, a network marketer yet that's like, oh my gosh, no more leads. I don't want anyone else requesting information. And you know, it's funny because we've had some teammates that have gone viral on TikTok. In fact, more recently, Facebook and Instagram Reels. And even if they have hundreds, I'm not kidding, hundreds of people in their inbox, of course they still want more, but I think we can also agree we want high quality leads, right? How many of us want people with ambition in our inbox? We want people that have money in our inbox. We want people that have serious interest in our inbox. So this is why we started building a personal brand 8 years ago. This is why we started learning how to market on social media. You know, it's interesting how in network marketing, they don't teach anything about marketing. Right. They teach you about network prospecting, network pitching, network presenting, right? We used to do a lot of presentations, right? We were out every night doing meetings and, you know, pitching people on our business, but we didn't generate leads. We didn't have people coming to us. It wasn't until the era of social media where we learned social selling. We learned how to build relationships online, how to build our expertise, our credibility, right? Because listen, if you show up as an authority in your niche, right? If you show up as an expert, if you show up as a person with credibility and with influence, it takes time to build it. But once you have it, you have it. Does that make sense? Like once you build a following and people know you, they like you, they trust you, they're going to be more open to doing business with you. So this is why it's so important to find strategic ways to create engagement, create conversations, because conversations lead to conversions. So you need to find the platform or platforms that you enjoy most, whether it's video. Short form video is definitely the hottest trend right now. If you were to ask me like, well, who on your team is generating the most leads and sales?
Yeah.
It's the people doing short form videos. If you would ask us a few years ago, we would have said Facebook Live. Before that, we would have said Periscope. So there's always a hot new strategy out there, or let's just say a strategy that is more effective to get people raising their hand, to get complete strangers asking for information. But I also want to point out this.
Do it.
Some of you have your warm market still that you need to tap into. So many people are like, I need leads. I need people, you know, that are interested in my products or business. And it's like, yeah, but you might have those people. You might have those people right now on your friends list, people that follow you right now, but you're not proactive. Let me give you an example. I have signed up people recently as customers and as social marketers within my own team. Yes, I still build a team today. And a lot of those, no, I shouldn't say a lot of those people, but let's just say 20 to 30% of those people, I initiated the conversation.
I love that.
I'm the one that reached out to them first.
Because people assume, John, that people are just coming to you, they're signing up without any quote unquote.
And some do, of course, some do, many do actually, but a lot of them, I reach out and say, hey, thanks for following me. How'd you come across my page? What do you do? Or I see that they engaged on one of my posts. I don't know who they are, or at least I don't recognize them. Now, it's tough sometimes because a lot of times they're actually on my team already, or they're like someone I've talked to in the past. But until I get into the inbox, I don't know this, right? So anyway, I have to do a lot of sorting, probably more than most people. But I'll see that they're following me or they're commenting on my stuff. And then I'll go, and I love this aspect, I'll go and watch their story and I'll engage in their story. And you got to start more conversations. You got to be a professional conversation starter. And if you got people liking, commenting, I'll give you an example. I had people liking and commenting on my post today. What would you do if you received $2,500 right now? And a lot of people were commenting, you know, various things, but it was people I didn't know, I've never talked to, got into their inbox, just started a conversation. This isn't rocket science. Thank God I dropped out of community college. Like, if I can do this, you can do this. Now, Nadia's got 2 degrees, one for both of us, but does this make sense? Like, you have to become a professional conversation starter and identify pain points and understand that you can solve problems for profits.
Yes.
What does your product do? How can it help people? So I want you to start becoming a story collector. So you're starting to generate stories and tell those stories and be a curiosity creator, because the more you do this on social media and the more you engage your audience and you mix it up and you play with different topics and conversations, the more you're going to get people engaging with you, responding to your questions, sending you friend requests, following you. And then listen, those are some of the best people because they're fresh new leads and they came across your content, right? Or they're watching your stories. Those are some of the best people to proactively reach out to and just start a conversation and see where it goes.
I love it. Okay, so, for me, when I hear big ideas, I like to think through, okay, how can we incorporate it into your day-to-day? Matter of fact, if you know John Maxwell, he wrote like a gazillion books. He talks about, look, I can tell whether you're going to be massively successful by looking at your daily to-dos, right? So maybe part of your daily to-dos, if you don't have that already, is, create a number for yourself, like very minimal number of people that you're going to connect with. So our tip number 1 for you for lead generation, and I only think it's appropriate that we start our tip with this proactivity in mind, right? I don't know about you, but there's something really empowering when you're large and in charge. When you hop onto a horse and then you're gonna ride it into sunset. See that? You have to be the one to take the action, right? Okay, I really visualized it successfully in my mind. I hope you did too. But tip number 1 for lead generation, and that is a proactive tip, is connect with 3 people a day, 5 people a day, 10 people a day, pick a number. And then what's really cool too? I know most of us in business, when we're new, when we're getting started, we're lacking the confidence. And a lot of times your confidence is going to come from you creating the competency inside your business. And then also a really cool way to build up your confidence is to, prove to yourself that every single day you're going to do the activity to move your business forward, to move the needle in your business. And when you start to focus on, the action that you're doing on the daily, instead of focusing so much on the result, your business is going to change. Your business is massively going to change because you're going to limit the time on the emotional roller coaster. Yes, that helps. But then also you go, you know what? I just know that there's the law of the universe, and it's called the law of averages. If you talk to 10 people in the beginning, 1 might get started in your business.
Right.
But as you create your competency and you develop that confidence, that average is going to start to go up and up and up. So tip 1 is be connecting with people proactively yourself, whether it's people that are watching your story, maybe it's you ask a question once a week, right? And people are commenting on your content. So these are people that are already familiar to you that you can reach out to because you haven't talked to them in some time, or it's you are strategic in identifying hashtags that are your niche hashtags. Don't be scared by my conversation now. Okay, so tip number 2.
Starts tomorrow.
We do want to be strategic when posting, right? So just think about what kind of post do you find, valuable to you. And then I really love the strategy. And that is you're just curating other people's content on your wall, which is really beautiful. So the strategy works amazing on Instagram, right? You can use the app called Repost. So let's say you see a post that's ranking high for your hashtag. Okay, so you search your hashtag or your niche or whatever, right? And then you see all the content under that particular hashtag. And then I want you to pay attention to the top rated ones. So, or the ones that are at the top of the search. And let's say there's a post there that totally would make sense for your audience. You can copy the link, then go open up Repost app, y'all. Like, look how hard we work nowadays. This is obnoxious, right? So you open up the app and then you paste the link, and then legitimately it's so easy for you then to go ahead and post it up, say repost from such and such account, and be done.
So on my Instagram account,
yes,
Nadia posted, because she runs my page. Thank you, baby. So Rob Sperry had a really good post, and Fraser Brooks had a really good post. So those two posts did really well on their pages. So Nadia reposted them onto my page.
Yeah.
But again, let's be clear. It's their post. It's their content.
Yeah.
So we're curating quality content, and you have to drop your freaking ego. Like, you are not the end all be all and have all the things and all the perspectives that all the peoples that follow you need to know about, right? So what I mean by that is by sharing other people's content that your audience can get value from, people aren't going to go, wait a second, that's not an original John and Nadya Melton thought or quote. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you sharing your competitors' content is actually a really great thing. You know, the funny thing is, Fraser immediately messaged me and said, hey, thanks for sharing that. By the way, I want you to speak at my next event. I didn't even post it. Nadia actually did it. But the point is, we didn't post it so that Fraser would be like, let me put them on my stage. But these are the things that naturally happen. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And it's the same thing with Reels and TikTok, where some of our most viral TikToks, in fact, all TikToks, if you think about it.
That's right, Penny. We're all in it together.
That's right. And there's many TikToks that go viral because you're lip syncing or using someone else's sound, like, a lot of the stuff you see today is not original anyway. People are putting their own spin on it, using their own perspective, telling their own story.
Bring your funny, bring your uniqueness.
My top sellers, again, let's be clear, the top producers within our organization do such a great job of taking a piece of content and making it their own. So you're like a DJ, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the remix does better than the original. You don't have to be that creative.
Exactly.
Does it help? Isn't it an advantage?
Exactly.
Yes. But you could just use someone else's genius. It's about the value it'll bring to the person reading, watching, listening.
Yes.
It's about helping other people.
I love it.
The bigger the impact, the bigger the paycheck, y'all.
Strategy number 3, and I really love this strategy as well. I know, be shocked. But number 3, I want you to choose one feature, something that's new. Example for you could be Facebook Reels if you have it. If you don't, I would really be doing Instagram Reels. This is the time when we talk about timing is perfect right now for you to show up with Reels on Facebook because they just launched it.
Because it's new.
So whenever a new feature comes out, the platform really want you to embrace it. And the people that embrace it quickly are going to be the people that are put essentially on the front burner.
Right, because there's not that many people doing it. Less competition.
Also create a number for yourself. I would be challenging myself right now if I were you to do, one at least 5 days a week. I know it's going to be a stretch. Now you can batch create content as well, right? But what's really cool about short form video, it's not a Facebook Live. It's not an Instagram Live. You don't have to do it for 60 minutes.
Right.
Some of the most viral reels are like 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds.
Can we mention this? It is better. This is your tip, so I'm assuming you still agree with this tip.
Okay, yes.
It's a tip from the past. To make your videos on TikTok because that's the best short form video creator.
Indeed.
So if someone says, how do I make a Facebook reel? I would just start with TikTok, make your videos on TikTok, and then use them to post on your Facebook and Instagram reels.
You don't want to be sharing the logos with TikTok on Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
Because Instagram and Facebook, they made it public announcement. Look, if you're going to be sharing other content from other platforms, so branded to other platforms, we're not going to show it to new people. So you don't want to be shooting yourself in the foot. It's not that difficult. It's an additional step. But then I do also want to say, John, that there's now, because Instagram Reels is becoming such an engine of its own, I know from the people that I'm talking to, there's now a lot of people that legitimately originate content on. I would just say I wouldn't be originating like the video on TikTok and then be originating content on Reels, I would just choose one or the other, right? So that way you get really good on one platform and you keep the overwhelm down. Do you know what I mean?
So even if you do make it on Instagram Reels, you can then use that for
upload it to TikTok
and Facebook Reels.
That's right.
That really is the beauty of content creation.
I know.
Like a lot of my tweets and my LinkedIn posts and my Instagram stories, I originated, this is just me because I've been on Facebook the longest. I post something on Facebook.
Yeah.
It does well. We use it for all the other platforms. We use it for Instagram.
And then we translate it into other platforms.
Yeah.
And what I mean by translate is a lot of times when he'll do like whatever couple sentences, he'll put it into, you know how Facebook allows you to do like the colored text background because it pops. It's a Facebook feature. So you're always going to get rewarded when you use Facebook features. But then what you don't want to do is you don't want to screenshot it on Facebook and then upload that to Instagram. You want to translate. So you want to copy the copy and then, copy the copy.
Just so you guys hear, when you hear copy, sometimes people don't know what that means. It's just basically the words you're using, right? So the
copy the words.
Yeah. So
would
you're,
be a better way
you're
to
copying the words, right? Copy the copy.
Way.
So that's why when you hear like a copywriter, anyway, even if you're like, I don't really like Instagram, I don't really use Instagram, these strategies are going to be the same for Facebook. They're going to be the same for TikTok. They're really not. There might be a couple nuances, but how you sell on social media is pretty much the same across the board.
Yeah.
Right? How you post, content creation, there might be different like nuances as far as like how you post, what it looks like. But for the most part, all these social platforms, at this point, they're the same. Guess what? LinkedIn has stories. Twitter has stories. Twitter has their own version of Clubhouse now. I mean, there are so many different features on all these platforms. YouTube has YouTube Shorts.
But let's not get overwhelmed.
There's no reason to be overwhelmed. You pick your platform.
If there's one thing that you walk away from today's broadcast remembering is that success is not going to be an overnight thing for you, right? It's gonna take some time. If you're not successful, just don't forget that word yet. That if you show up every single day and you focus on showing up, being 1% better today than you were yesterday, showing up every single day and doing your minimums, right? You gotta have your minimums of those activities that are income producing activities. And as John Maxwell says, look, I can tell whether or not you're going to be successful when I look at your daily schedule.